In 1984, a 19-year-old freshman at the University of Texas turned his dorm room into a startup lab. With $1,000 and a vision to cut out the middleman, Michael Dell started selling custom PCs directly to customers. Today, Dell Technologies is a multi-billion-dollar empire, but the road there wasn't smooth. From betting everything on a buyout to pulling off the biggest tech acquisition in history, this is the story of how Michael Dell quietly became one of the most powerful names in business. This is the B word, the origin story. Michael Dell was never your typical teenager. While most college kids were cramming for finals or partying, Dell was busy running a side hustle, building and selling computers from his UT Austin dorm room. He noticed something the big PC companies didn't. People didn't want off-the-shelf machines. They wanted customization, speed, and value, and they didn't want to pay a middleman to get it. So he flipped the business model on its head: sell direct to the customer, cut costs, deliver faster, and control the whole experience. He called it PCs Limited, and with $1,000 in startup cash, borrowed from his family, he was off to the races. By 1985, the company made its first computer, built entirely in-house. By 1988, Michael Dell became the youngest CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and by 1992, he was a billionaire at just 27 years old. The rising action. But Dell wasn't just growing fast, he was reshaping the industry. Instead of relying on retail stores, Dell used mail order, phone orders, and eventually the internet to reach customers directly. This let them carry almost zero inventory, offer lower prices, and ship faster than anyone else. The model was so efficient, it made Dell a dominant force through the 90s and early 2000s. But as the 2000s progressed, things started to shift. The PC market began to slow. Competitors adapted. Dell's stock started to fall. Wall Street lost confidence, but Michael didn't. In 2013, in a bold, unheard-of move, Michael Dell partnered with private equity firm Silver Lake to take Dell private in a $24 billion deal. The critics called it reckless, but to Michael, it was strategy. He wanted control. He wanted vision without noise, and that meant cutting out the stock market, conflict and challenges. Once Dell went private, Michael went to work, quietly transforming the company from a PC maker to a full-scale tech solutions provider. But he wasn't playing small. In 2016, he made a move that shook Silicon Valley: the $67 billion acquisition of EMC, a data storage and enterprise software giant. It was the biggest tech deal in history, and it gave Dell Technologies a whole new lane: enterprise infrastructure, servers, cloud, cybersecurity. This wasn't just about selling laptops anymore. It was about owning the backbone of the digital world. But it wasn't easy. The deal was complex. The debt was massive. The pressure, immense. Still, Michael Dell stayed locked in, quiet, calculated, relentless. The climax. The second IPO was a victory lap. Dell had pulled off one of the most impressive corporate turnarounds ever, doubling down on himself, transforming his business, and beating the odds. But here's what makes Michael Dell different. He wasn't just building one company. Behind the scenes, he was building an investment empire. Through MSD Capital and MSD Partners, Dell quietly poured billions into real estate, private equity, credit markets, and public stocks. Airbnb, Palantir, Grand Central Station, Four Seasons. Low-key moves, high-level plays. He turned operational income into generational wealth, not by flashing it, but by multiplying it. The resolution. Today, Michael Dell is worth over $100 billion. Dell Technologies is one of the largest tech companies in the world, and MSD Partners is one of the most respected private investment firms in the game. But it all started with a kid in a dorm room, not afraid to bet on himself. In his own words, you don't have to be a genius or a visionary or even a college graduate to be successful. You just need a framework and a dream. Michael Dell built his own framework, made bold bets when it counted, and proved that sometimes the smartest move is stepping back so you can come back even bigger. This was the story of Michael Dell, an under-the-radar billionaire who built his fortune with vision, patience, and bold execution. But every billionaire has a different blueprint. Who should we break down next? Drop a comment below, hit that subscribe button, and tap into the B word.